Excuse me. Okay. Oh, God. Let me see if I can't get that lower. It's a little better. Mm. All right. So I just got off my TikTok stream. I did some testing over there. I have not tested this tank, reef tank, in a long time. And yeah, there was a couple of numbers that were a little elevated, but and my alkalinity was a little low. PO4 and NO3 were PO4 was 0.03 and my nitrates were 2, so definitely on the lower side, but everything seems happy. Magnesium was like 1500, calcium was around 500, elk was at 6.7. Again, not really like super worried about those issues. Something I'll definitely take care of, but it's not an end all be all with those numbers, so. Something I'll definitely look into. My salt was a little elevated. It was like 0.027. So I took a little bit of water out and just let it fill up with my auto top off, which is got kalkwasser in it anyway, so. Let's see. I gotta get rid of that. Whoop. Not what I wanted to do. Here we go. But yeah, I just figured I'd jump over on the YouTube and see what everybody's up to today on their Sunday. And my sister's birthday, my older sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Asia. I know sometimes my little nephew, her son, watches my YouTube videos, so but Tank is doing really good, even though the numbers are weird. But GSP has finally started to open back up. It was closed for a while, and to be honest with you, I'm not really sure what caused it. It could have been the fact that my auto feeder stopped working, and that my nutrients just ran like super low in the system. Because I'm not really sure exactly how long it was offline, I guess you would say. I just happened to walk in one day and I seen it, that it was like stopped. I tried to charge it, it wouldn't charge, so I've been hand feeding ever since, and it's been perking up a lot more. So maybe that was the issue the whole time, I'm not really sure, but it also had a bit of algae growth going on the skin, and I think that was just from being closed up. So not daily, but every few days I'd take my soft bristle brush in there and just kind of brush the surface of it just to make sure that it, shed that algae off. That's pretty much about it. Tons of growth with corals touching each other and coral warfare, and I don't know what that was about. But we're back, so don't mind me, I'm just eating my lunch. Excuse me. That's a little better. What's up, Levi? You should do the, I think you can. I don't know. I'll have to check. I know you can do it on TikTok, but you can, like, invite multiple people on live. That'd be kind of cool. Do, like, your tank and my tank at the same time. They're virtually the same thing, just yours is bigger. I had someone in the, what's it called? Facebook, main saltwater Facebook group or whatever, and he has bought coral from me before, which is kind of funny because I thought I told him before what I had, but I guess he didn't know. He was like, what are you growing? Like, how are you growing it in a fluval? Like, all of these coral. And I was like, well, I said, you know, I got high flow or whatever, and kind of told him about the stuff, but I guess he thought he forgot. And the other day, I posted up the coral again and said, you know, I'm trying to make some room in the fluval. And he's like, you're growing these in the fluval? And I was like, yeah. He said, what light? You must have an upgraded light. I said, yeah, I do. It's a Night Crew Hyper Reef. I can't talk good enough about these things. These things are great. Like I said to one guy, I said, even if you only get like a year and a half, 2 years out of one light, whew, that is drastically cheaper than everything else. So, and they grow quite well. But like I've told you before, Levi, I think a lot of people get hyped up on name brands, so you don't need name brand stuff. Save your money for buying high-end name brand stuff and just buy coral. That's good. That means you didn't get sucked into the corporate bull crap. Basically, it's like, if you're a social media person in the reefing hobby, there's like 3 or 4 name brands that are like, everybody pushes them, and it's just, one, they're way too expensive for what they are. Like, yeah, I know they have a lot of research and development and stuff, but the price points on some of these things are like insane. And you can get the same outcome without any of that crazy over-the-top pricing and stuff. So it's, I mean, I know a lot of people get sponsored. A lot. Not a lot, I shouldn't say that. But I don't know. I feel like it's also like a status symbol. Like, if you have like a high-end quote, I'm putting quotations, high-end name brand, that your tank is like somehow superior to other people's. I don't feel that way. I've always been a do-it-yourself kind of guy, and figure out the least expensive route to be able to get the same results. And honestly, like I said, I can't speak more highly of the products that are on this tank because they just do the work that you ask them to do, and they haven't even like quote unquote skipped the beat, knock on wood. So the two wave makers, two Hydra wave makers, those things have been awesome. They've literally, as long as you keep maintenance on them, like pretty much everything else in the hobby, like you can't put a MP10, MP40, MP60 in a tank and just leave it alone. It's just not going to work forever, you know, it's going to get gummed up, and these do the same thing. So, I mean, as long as you take them out and you clean them, you're all good to go. Clean your return pump out back when you get a chance. Ever take it apart, soak it in some citric acid. That's the way to do it. But I have not had any reason to say that these products are not good and high quality. Especially that mini wave maker on the back. That thing is super easy to take apart and clean up. And to be honest with you, the gyre out front, the crossflow by Hydra, that's super easy to take apart too and clean. And you'll be able to notice when your flow is starting to kind of die back a little bit. So you'll know when it's time to clean them. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like people get surprised when you tell them that you run some, you know, cheap Amazon light and cheap wave makers, and you're able to grow coral, which I've told you, Levi, a few times that it's coral will survive. It's us who kill them. So like we're either giving them way too much light or not enough flow, or you know, it could be a number of things. So, but but I did also what was it? I put the mother colony of, jeez, I got the hiccups. The mother colony of the bubblegum digi, I also put that up as a grab on Facebook's page, because at this point, like, I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's just grown so much I can't even, like, if I can keep one small piece, I'll be happy, but I don't need to, I guess you would say. So, how in the world did that happen? What the heck? Okay. It's funny, I was getting ready for the wedding yesterday, and I had a, what is that so loose? I had a white tank top undershirt on, and of course I have my mustache now. And Tori and I were getting ready to take a picture, and I'm telling you, I looked like Freddie Mercury. Like, it was ridiculous. And now I've had queens stuck in my head for the last day and a half, just because of my one dumb comment that I made about me looking like Freddie Mercury. But to be fair, I might dress up like him this year for Halloween. Why not? That might be the play, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, I know you saw pictures, dude. I know you did. I've been kind of enjoying the mustache. It's nice. I like it. It's the beard. Not that the beard gets too much. It's just it's super. It gets super itchy, and like I walked out into the woods to check my cameras, and it was just that was too much. Like I couldn't do that. It was hot. I'll let it grow out when deer season gets here, when it's a bit colder, and but right now the mustache is staying. It is definitely staying. Mm. Let's do this. Oh, it is nasty, hot, muggy in this house right now. It's not hot outside, it's just gross and humid in here. But mm, mm. Oh, here we go. WVU, the tank is a 13.5 gallon Fluval Evo. It's very small, very crowded at the moment. Do you have a? You must have a reef. What do you have for a reef, WB? Excuse me. Nice. Very nice. Is it a mixed reef, or do you have just like a one? I don't know. Yeah, the Blastos, I changed the Blasto rock on the right around a little bit, Levi. So I kind of spun it because it's that those Blastos have grown so much that they've literally encroached on the two other Blastos that are on that rock. So I they've definitely grown a ton. Super puffy, and yeah, it's just like I said, I am running out of space in this tank. It's got real estate to go up with the SPS, but that's pretty much about it. How do you like the build quality of the innovative marine stuff? 60% SPS, about 6 torches and various LP. Nice. Yeah, this was definitely a mixed reef mine. But the next one will be majority SPS dominant. That's what my 80 gallon will be set up as. So it's just something to look forward to. I don't have the ability to set it up right at the moment just because I am in the process of doing like 3 other things, but tank is built like a tank. That's awesome. Yeah. Because I know, like, not that they do it, but I know there's other brands out there that have had some issues, to say the least. Oh, it's Euro braced. Yeah, that's. You aren't kidding when you say it's built like a tank, then, like, that helps add some rigidity a bunch to that. Oh, sorry to hear that. My first 150 blue CMS. That's terrible, dude. That's like, I guess you would say every reefer's worst nightmare right there. Have a tank blow a seam and all your hard work over the years or however long you've been doing it is just gone. Especially if you have no way of a backup, like no other backup system or no like holding tank or anything like that. Yeah, that's terrible. Excuse me. Oh, that's terrible. Where are you? It must be West Virginia, I imagine. But Yeah, not that everybody should have a backup because I mean, it's just not feasible, of course. But um, like, I kind of want to get a. Trying to think of what those are. Um, like the 300-gallon, uh, like plastic tubs, just to have as like a backup plan. If everything goes south, I'd be able to just like throw it in there, of course. But that's obviously, it's not obviously ideal to be able to do that. Of course, those troughs are not cheap as well, so. Yeah, Rubbermaid 300-gallon trough or whatever. But like that would be something ideal to have just like sitting in the back, in storage or whatever. Even if you don't have it set up. But because I think I mean, really, I'd love to have like a whole like frag system out in my garage. But I think being able to just have the ability to store things if things go south would be most ideal. But even with like your case, you're saying you had a 40-gallon, which probably would have been able to home your coral for a little bit, but like your tangs and stuff were probably way too big. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine it. It killed you to be able to have to do all that. So did you start completely new with the new system, or were you able to have some things left over, or? That's rough, dude. Sorry to hear that again. I really am. That's unfortunately, It's part of the hobby, unfortunately. It shouldn't be because they should build these tanks to quality inspection and stuff. But I don't know. A lot of them, I feel like even some of the bigger name brands, they just put it together on like a factory, and that's it. Once it's gone, it's gone. Mm. No. Mm. Oh gosh, I gotta freaking bomb this thing. What's up, BK? How's it going? Dang. Whew. Dose machine, dose too much all free. Killed 3 out of 4 fish in my food. That is terrible. You got two bad stories right back to back. WV Reefer, you had his seam blowout on his, and you got an overdose on your tank. That is not good. Dosing by hand, yeah, I can imagine why. That's what doser were you using? A lot of coral died. Yeah, imbalance. Man, that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. My soft leather corals are all good. Candy canes, Duncan, forest fires are doing good though. At least you got something that survives. Because that is brutal to have that happen. Best advice I would say, I've only moved two or three tanks in my time of having reefs, but it's it's weird to try and do everything, of course, all at once. Have yourself prepared. Have both locations prepared. So have your takedown prepared. So you have your buckets for your water and your rock and coral and fish. And then when you get to um, university for you, have your place where you're going to have your tank, everything already set up. That way it's just a smooth transition, because the more time that everything's in buckets, the more stressful everything is on them. That's just what I've seen. If you do, you're going to have a lot of mix up in your sand in the transportation if you do have sand. So that's one thing to think about. Definitely what I would do for that period of time, if you're like super cloudy after putting everything back in, definitely over filter if you have a way to do that, just to get all the particles out that are now floating around. Um, but other than that, just try and make it as absolutely smooth of a transition as possible. Um, these animals will adapt and survive pretty good. So it's really just about the transition time. Make it short and sweet and get it done. But make sure you have a plan of, do you have enough buckets? Do you have the space already set up where you can make it everything go together really quick and get back up and running? That's really what it comes down to. It's really not much of a headache other than that. It's pretty straightforward, but you really want to have your tools, I guess you would say, readily available for you. New tank did give me a chance to try bare bottom, and I will not go back to sand. Yeah, I thought I was going to do bare bottom on this system, and I decided to go sand last minute. My last system, which was a 40 breeder, was bare bottom, and I absolutely loved it. It took a while to establish like a good, solid base ecosystem, I guess you would say, in it, but I just absolutely, and I do like the look of them, a bare bottom tank as well. So I always encourage everybody, if they want, especially ease of cleaning, it is bare bottom is the way to go. In my moves, I never had any death in livestock, but I only moved them like 2 hours. That being said, 4 hours is not that bad. There's a lot of people who sell coral at events that will ship their coral, not ship it, but they'll drive their coral like easily 6 to 8 hours, no problem. Fish as well. Fish, I mean, you can get fish sent in the mail through a bag. Um, so if you're going for a long time, you could always just buy like a battery powered bubbler for the fish so that they have plenty of oxygen. As for the corals, you're probably going to be just fine. I've seen corals that have been stuck in transit like for like 2 3 days in a box where the heating pad kind of runs out of temp, and you get them to the house, and yeah, they look kind of sad, but they come back around. So like I said, as long as you can make it the smoothest transition as possible when you do it, that is the key. So when you get to university or wherever you're staying, if you just can set up a place real quick for it, even if you move it later on, that will be fine. But you really want to get it back up and running and having, your water movement and all that stuff, because these systems really like stability. And when you do a move, obviously that is a big change. You're basically shutting down the system and transporting it across, you know, miles. Not that they really know what's going on, but it just stops the stability of the system. So that's one of my biggest things. Just make it as quick as possible. When it comes to keeping water in there, so that the sand, yeah, you can keep a little bit of water in there. Just be weary that even that little bit of water that's in there with the sand is still going to be quite heavy to move that tank. So it's just something to think about. I mean, if you, the thing is leaving it home is, it's it's one of those things that nobody's gonna care for your tank as much as you care for your tank. Unfortunately, so what you may see as problems, they may not see it as an issue. So if you leave it home, just leave that in mind. Taking it with you, again, is not going to be an issue either. You can take it with you and move it multiple times. You just, like I said, you just have to have a plan for when you do move it. Um, just make sure you have everything ready and in place, and just do it as smooth and as quickly as possible, just so that you have less stress on the animals itself. No problem, BK. That's do what I can to help. Like I said, I have done a few, um, and they were on much. I don't want to say like a much bigger tank, but I had moved my 40 breeder. I've moved a 55 gallon as well, and it's just you want to make it as smooth as possible for yourself. And with a tank that is around, I think you said 15 gallons, I think 16 gallons, it is just much easier to have everything. So I'd say probably at least 4 to 5 5-gallon buckets, just to be sure that you can have everything, without filling it right to the top, in water. Have one for your rocks and possibly some coral in it. Make it so that it's the best possible chance that it doesn't move around and bang up against stuff if it does have coral. You're definitely going to have frags happen. I mean, coral's definitely going to break off, no doubt about that. Fish, definitely have the fish by themselves in a bucket with a bubbler, especially if you're going 4 hours to your university. Um, but other than that, it's really not that hard. It's going to be really simple. It's just one location to the next, and you're just driving it in between. Um, so you'll be all right. But yeah, BK, I think you'll do just fine with moving it. I don't think it will be that big of an issue for you. less than ideal. Freaking crush that thing. Not ideal. Really? Oh, my goodness. If you guys have any questions, definitely ask. Or even if you don't even have any questions. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Weird. How that happened. Ideal. Not ideal. Really, game. Oh my goodness, I am tired. Jeez Louise. This is what we're gonna do here. That's what we're gonna do. Holy schmoly, dude. No way. Wow, man. Mm. I don't even. Oh, what is going on here? All right, guys, I'm probably gonna jump off. Chat's kind of died down a little bit, and I got a couple of things I gotta do, but I will try and catch you guys in the next one, and keep an eye out, and I'll be back.